In the endless savannah of Tanzania's Serengeti National Park lived a lioness named Nala. She was strong, proud, and an exceptionally caring mother to her only cub, a little lion named Kai. In these lands, lions usually stayed together in tight-knit prides, protecting each other from the dangers of the wild. But strife began in Nala's pride. The older lionesses clashed with the younger ones, and the males fought for leadership. Tired of endless quarrels and fearing for the safety of her baby, Nala made a difficult decision to leave the pride and set off on a solo journey to find a safe place for herself and Kai. Nala knew that life without the support of the pride would be difficult. Hunting alone required enormous effort, and the savannah was full of dangers, from hyenas to stray male lions that could attack her cub. But a mother's love was stronger than fear. Kai, small and curious, trusted his mother and happily followed her, jumping on his soft paws and playing with the blades of grass swaying in the wind. Day after day, Nala and Kai roamed the golden expanses of the Serengeti in search of food and shelter. The lioness hunted small game gazelles and zebras to feed her cub. When Kai grew tired, she gently licked him, soothing him with soft purrs. For Nala, her baby was the center of her world, and for him she was willing to overcome any difficulty. After weeks of wandering, Nala found a secluded spot at the foot of a hill surrounded by acacia trees. Other lions rarely came here, and the murmur of a small stream created a sense of peace and security. Every morning, Nala and Kai went for a walk in the savannah, enjoying the warm rays of the sun. Kai frolicked, chasing butterflies and jumping through the tall grass, while Nala kept a close eye on him, ready to protect him from danger at any moment. Sometimes the lion cub would playfully nibble her tail, bringing a slight smile to his mother's face. These moments filled her heart with joy, despite all the hardships of living alone. One day, on one of those sunny days, Nala and Kai were walking along the stream. The wind rustled softly in the grass, and birds chirped in the acacia trees. Kai, full of curiosity, ran around sniffing flowers and stones. Suddenly something unusual caught his attention. A rusty metal box, half hidden in the tall grass. It was an old trap forgotten by poachers who once hunted in these parts. Kai, unaware of the danger, ran up to the box, touched it with his paw, and began to sniff it. Inside was bait, a piece of meat whose smell attracted the lion cub. Before Nala could react, Kai stepped inside and the heavy door of the trap slammed shut with a clang. Kai found himself trapped. His weak cries filled the air, and Nala, hearing the metallic sound, rushed to the trap. She growled, her heart pounding with fear for her cub. Kai thrashed around inside the cramped cage, his little paws sliding across the iron floor, his eyes filled with terror. Nala scratched at the metal bars, trying to push them apart, biting them, but the strong steel did not give way. Her roar, full of despair, echoed across the savannah, but there was no one around who could help. Hours passed, and Nala did not stop trying to free Kai. She fought against the cage, leaving claw marks on the bars, but it was all in vain. Kai, exhausted and frightened, whimpered quietly, pressing himself against the bars and looking at his mother with pleading eyes. The lioness, feeling helpless, let out low, plaintive moans, as if begging for a miracle. The sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, and the shadows grew longer. Nala did not give up, but her strength was fading and her hope was dying. At that moment, two Serengeti Park rangers, Amina and Joseph, were driving through the savannah. They were patrolling the area, checking to see if poachers had left any new traps. Amina, an experienced ranger, noticed movement in the distance and raised her binocular. When she saw a lioness desperately circling a metal cage, she realized that something serious was happening. Joseph, her partner, also noticed the cage and the faint movements inside. They immediately understood that the lion cub was in trouble and that time was running out. The poachers could return at any moment to collect their prey. Amina and Joseph quickly discussed a plan of action. Returning to base for tranquilizers was too far, and waiting until morning meant putting the lion cub in mortal danger. They decided to act immediately, despite the risk. Driving closer in their jeep, the rangers stopped at a safe distance. Nala, noticing them, growled louder, her fur bristling and her eyes flashing with tension. She did not trust humans, but her maternal instinct compelled her to stay close to Kai. Amina, realizing that the lioness might attack, slowly got out of the car, keeping her hands raised to show that she was not a threat. She spoke quietly, her voice soft and soothing. "We're here to help, girl. We'll save your babe." Joseph, meanwhile, took hydraulic cutters and a crowbar out of the Jeep, tools they always carried with them to deal with poachers' traps. He knew they had to act quickly but cautiously. Nala, though still wary, sensed something in Amina's voice. Her roar softened, and she took a step back, but still kept her paw on the cage, as if guarding Kai. Amina continued to talk, distracting the lioness, while Joseph approached the trap. Kai, seeing the people, pressed himself against the bars and whimpered quietly. His large eyes, full of fear, seemed to beg for help. Joseph examined the cage. It was old but sturdy, with thick bars and a rusty lock. He decided that the easiest way would be to cut through one of the side walls. He turned on the bolt cutters and began to work, but a loud noise made Nala flinch. She growled, her ears pressed against her head, her body tense, ready to pounce. Amina intensified her soothing words, trying to keep the lioness's attention. "It's okay. We're almost done. Your baby will be free soon." The minutes dragged on agonizingly. Joseph, drenched in sweat, carefully cut through the metal, trying not to make any sudden movements. Sparks flew from the pliers, and the smell of burning iron filled the air. Nala kept glancing at Joseph, but Amina continued to distract her, telling her how much they loved animals and wanted to protect them. Her sincere voice gradually calmed the lioness. Finally, after 20 tense minutes, Joseph managed to make a large enough opening in the cage wall. He put down the pliers and quietly called out, "Baby, come on, get out." Kay, trembling with fear but sensing freedom, squeezed through the opening and jumped out. Nala immediately rushed to him, sniffing and licking him, as if checking to see if he was okay. Kay, still trembling, pressed himself against his mother, burying his face in her warm fur. The lioness let out a low, soft sound of relief, and her eyes seemed to express gratitude. Amina and Joseph stepped back, giving the mother and cub space. They smiled at each other, feeling the tension ease. Kay, already recovering a little, began to playfully push his mother with his paw, and Nala gently licked him in response. This scene touched the rangers deeply. They understood that they had done something important, not only for this family, but for the entire savannah. Before leaving, Joseph and Amina decided to take the cage with them. They loaded it into the Jeep to take it back to base, as evidence of poaching. This could help strengthen patrols and prevent new traps from being set. As they got into the car, Nala looked in their direction. Her gaze, full of dignity and calm, seemed to say, "Thank you." Then she turned and led Kay deep into the savannah, where the tall grass hid their silhouettes. The sun was already setting, painting the sky in crimson tones. Amina and Joseph drove back to base, their hearts filled with pride and relief. Today, they had saved not only a lion cub, but also the hope that wildlife could be protected. They knew that the fight against poachers would continue, but moments like these reminded them why their work was so important. In the Serengeti, the story of Nala and Kay, as well as the two brave rangers, became a legend, a symbol of love, courage, and unity between man and nature. May this story inspire us all to protect wildlife and help those in need. Friends, thank you for taking the time to read this story. If it touched your heart, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel to support us. See you in the next stories about wildlife.